So welcome to the first of many episodes of Sustainable Living. Today's episode is about compost. So if you've already done gardening or you're going to do gardening this year, compost is essential. What a lot of people don't know about compost is that they need 80% carbon and 20% nitrogen, which carbon you get from cutting your grass in the summertime, which fills up your compost bin, but in the winter there's no cuts of grass, so where do you get your carbon from? So we've discovered that basically that your junk mail that comes through the door can be used for your compost bin. So you're actually recycling junk mail, which no longer becomes junk mail. Some of the things that you get through the post, like these things, these sort of adverts, unfortunately we can't recycle because of the way they've been printed on. So your adverts that come through the mail can't be recycled through your compost bin, but obviously can go into your recycling bin. But compared to the majority of your posts and things that you can collect, you can actually recycle the rest of it in your compost bin. So this is something obviously I've made earlier. I've been asking people to save letters for me or any sort of documents to be put in the recycling bin. So we've got everything from bank letters to envelopes to quite a lot of statements from a catalogue which was donated to me. So, and then you literally just rip them up. So if they're quite tough, just rip them open, rip them up, put them in the pile, and then once you've ripped them all up and you've got quite a big pile, you can do this. I mean, this took me about 20 minutes to do, maybe a bit less. But once you've done all that, you can just basically get ready to put it in your compost bin. So we've got all our junk mail and our letters. I'm just going to pop it all in this laundry basket because it's easy to move. And we've got a lot of paper here, so that's a lot of carbon for a compost bin. Sorry, not recycling bin. And that 80% carbon, there's going to be a lot of carbon because of all this paper when we haven't got grass to put in. In the summertime, it's a bit better because you can cut your grass regularly. When you get these letters, make sure you take the plastic out. So just rip the plastic out, make sure there's no plastic in it, and then that can go in there as well with the rest of your compost mix. Don't worry too much about bank statements. I mean, it's up to you if you want to recycle 10 years of bank statements, but when it comes to sort of any important documents, when I show you the final mix of what we're going to do, it's probably, unless you're quite desperate, you will probably want to be routing through this compost bin to get to any bank statements. So don't worry too much about security document. Right, so let's go into the garden and have a look in the compost bin. It's pretty cold today, it's 3 degrees, winter's day, so I won't advise coming outside constantly so this is our compost bin. This is your bog standard compost bin. As you can see, that's your nitrogen. So all of your food waste is your nitrogen. But unfortunately, a lot of our compost over the winter has just been nitrogen. So we need to get some carbon in there to help break down the nitrogen in the compost mix. They recommend that you get a small compost bin, probably half the size of that, because it's easier to turn the compost. Worms do actually turn the compost, but it's better to get a smaller compost bin and turn it yourself every sort of like few weeks, turning it with a pitchfork. It's even actually, you don't even need a bin if you don't want to buy a bin. You just find a piece of flat ground, start your compost pile, chuck everything on, make sure you turn it, and turn it every few weeks, and that sometimes it usually works better. You see farmers that have got a big pile and they'll just turn it with a pitchfork. So let's get our paper put in and start helping this nitrogen break down the carbon. So you can see our bin's pretty full. We built it up a lot last year. So I'm just gonna, I don't even think I'll be able to get a lot in there, to be honest. I think I might have to just push it down. You just want to get, you don't have to do it with your hands if you don't want to, because obviously it does get a bit messy. But you just want to get as much paper in there as possible. Probably have to start putting it in by hand, so you're just grabbing your junk mail, popping it in, pushing it round, and then so once you've got a good fair mix, so there's all your paper with your vegetables in there as well. and then you basically just want to get some water, like a recipe for cooking really. So you just want to get yourself, this is all our rainwater's been collecting in buckets, so just some rainwater, and literally help the process start going by watering your mix. Not too much water because you don't want to upset the compost, but it is always best in the summertime, especially when it's drying out, to leave your lid off and let any rain fall in, because it does actually need water to break down. So you can see, like I said, if you have any important documents, it's probably not the best place to be poking around. Just put some more in. Now it's a bit wet, it's easy to get in, so just pushing it on top. There we go. I mean, that's nearly all of it. I'd say we probably could get the rest on top, I think. And then all that paper now will start breaking down and helping break down our nitrogen, creating the perfect compost mix, which is 80% carbon, 20% nitrogen. So your nitrogen is your veg, cuttings, clippings, and you know, when you're peeling your potatoes and everything. And your carbon, sorry, is your paper and your grass. So there's our recipe for compost. Once you've done that, pop the lid back on, let it break down. I'll probably come back to it in a week and I'll turn it and make sure it's all turned, and the paper should start breaking down pretty quickly. Alright, well, look forward to another episode of Sustainable Living, making life cheaper, and I'll see you again soon.